Hello everybody. So I just posted the first episode of The Currency of Democracy, or actually technically it's the pilot. And I just got like 3 comments from funeralsong34, and I wanted to respond to these specific comments that he made. Okay, so this is the first comment. He says, "The only problem I have with being lib," and I assume he means libertarian, "is the idea of no regulations and letting the free market let loose. You guys really don't want no one making sure your meat was kept cold, food and drugs not poisoned, druggy truck drivers on the road, and you'll have to have some regulations or this country will soon turn into a third world country." And to some extent that does make sense. Well, you still need some kind of government that will protect on personal rights, or rights, natural rights, whatever you want to call them. And this is where the government is, it makes sense. You know, you want to make sure that they're not violating your right to life. They're exchanging money for property. You're getting, for example, food and drugs, hopefully not poisoned. And you know, if that is tainted, then it's going to interact with your body, which is your property as well. And that's where it, in a sense, it's well, I mean, it's not right. You know, they're poisoning you. That's wrong. But there's only so much that the government can do, you know? They can't test every little piece of meat, you know? They can't, not efficiently, you know what I mean? And besides, one governmental agency is not going to be perfect when they do it. One agency. And that's where the free market is, in a sense, a better solution. So if, you know, that you know, Purdue makes bad chicken. I'm not saying that they do, I'm just saying, you know, as an example, let's say Purdue makes, you know, a poisoned chicken, and you know that they do it frequently. You won't get their product. You'll get some other chicken, for example, like a Stop and Shop type of chicken, as opposed to, you know, Purdue. And that's just the free market at work, you know, and then they'll go out of business, and that's it. You know, they screwed up, you know, and the government had nothing to do with it. It was all, you know, in a sense it was a boycott or something to that effect, a boycott on a personal level at least, and then once more and more people find out that Purdue stinks at making chicken, then that's it. They're out of business. And then he also made the idea of druggy truck drivers on the road. In a sense, they should be allowed to go onto the road in a libertarian society. However, once they get into a car crash or something like that, then, you know, they're toast, aren't they? You know, they're going to jail, or, you know, death penalty type of thing, because maybe they caused an accident that caused someone else to get killed as well. I mean, that's just a free society, right? His second comment that I saw, I don't know who Tom Hartman is, so I'm not going to talk about that first section. I'll have to look into it. funeralsong34, he goes on to say, his stance, which I think is easier to prove, is that we hit these recession depressions after the federal government lowers the richest people's taxes under 50%. Every time we have taxed them over 50%, we have never had any huge recession, as these people are not taking huge risks in the market. Realize that what you said was only after 1913, after the Federal Reserve was instated. Now, if the Federal Reserve was not around, those recessions will be gone in an instant, because the market takes care of itself. and the Federal Reserve was enacted along with the federal income tax in order to pay off the interest to the interest on the loans made by the Federal Reserve to the federal government. So technically we don't need an income tax, and in my opinion this whole argument is actually moot. Go take a look at it, and if I'm wrong, please let me know. Comment or a video comment, whatever, it's all good. funeralsong34 goes on to say, as for the gold standard, I'm not sure we would have enough dollars for the 300 million people in the USA. That's definitely not true. If we all have dollars, you know, for the most part, if we all have dollars, then we can just set whatever amount of gold we have at Fort Knox and standardize it to the amount of dollars in circulation right now, and then we're all set. It's really that simple. And over a period of, let's say, 6 months, 3 months, or whatever, we can exchange these Federal Reserve notes for that amount of gold or silver or whatever, and create certificates for them, or we can just use gold in our pockets straight up. It's really actually not hard, because if we have dollars, then we have enough dollars in for 300 million people. We could make an ounce of gold equal to $1,000. So meaning, you know, if you have 200 bucks, then you could use you could get a fifth of an ounce of gold. You know, that kind of thing. So, and your third comment, funeralsong34, government have to grow when the population increases. We went from 76 million people in 1900 to 305 million. That's an increase of 400%. So really, do you expect the same amount of police, fire, and teachers of 1900? And you said good videos makes you think. Thank you. What you said was police, fire, and teachers, and those were for the local government. When I'm talking on the currency of democracy, I know it's a local show, but what I was talking about was the federal government. When you're just hiring teachers, hiring police, you're going to have to. If you have some kind of agency or department that needs hiring, then go ahead for it. Yeah, I mean, that's not what we mean by growing government. We mean when you're giving government more power, or creating a whole new department altogether, like Homeland Security. That was not one of the original ones, but the Federal Reserve, that we should abolish that. But that's a completely new entity. You know, those are new. Well, I mean, the Federal Reserve has been around for 100 years, but I mean, you know, something that doesn't make sense in a libertarian society, or a free society is what I should be saying. In a free society, you want to keep government small. And what we mean by this as well is keep it very small, proportional to the whole economy. So if you grow government, we mean you're expanding it to a bigger percentage of the whole economy. So if you're growing government in the fact that you need teachers, firemen, policemen, that kind of thing, that may actually be within the normal percentage of the economy as a whole. You know, liberty in general is a very new concept, because the United States was really the best shot at a free society. And then, but over the course of time, as the Founding Fathers knew, you know, government grows slowly. And what we mean is by this percentage of the economy. I don't know if you can see what the heck I'm trying to do with my hands over here. But, yeah, hope that helped, and thanks for the comments, and keep it coming.